Hey everyone, Anders here with another Black Desert video. Today we are gonna go over the Woosa Awakening release. We knew things would change for release. The feedback seems to have been mixed by most players. Some liked Woosa Awakening but thought it lacked PVE damage, which I agree with, and others thought that PvP damage was too much and her range skills were overpowered. Well, today we got some massive changes to the class. PVE damage across the board got buffed, PvP damage also got buffed, and flower summon damage got nerfed to compensate for the increased base damage on skills. Animations have been improved, and there have been some skill link fixes from the test server build that we tried. If we go to my handy little chart here, we can see the changes more clearly. I have the inputs to the skills on the left since I don't have access to the English names just yet. But to help you out, the big skills for Woosa are her SE and WE skills. These both got 56 and 49% damage increases in PvE respectively, and a small but significant 4 and 10% damage increase in PvP respectively. The nerfs you see are to skills that relied mostly on summon damage. Now that multiplier has been reduced, so they do less damage, mostly in PvP. Shift E is a long casting skill that saw the largest nerf to their PvP damage, but it was not a skill I think most would use for damage outside of maybe including it in a combo or using it for the frontal guard. What is significant is SE getting buffed. SE is now the best skill in both PvP and PvE for Woosa Awakening. It has a gap of protection at the very beginning of the animation, which can be fixed by simply using the core for SE. I highly recommend you take the core skill for this. It will make the skill completely protected, extremely long range with a stiffness CC and a floating CC follow-up, and respectable damage in PvP. For PvE, this skill is even better. You now have increased health recovery on hits with this current patch, and the skill will guarantee critical damage modifiers and back attack modifiers because of the animation. It summons attacks behind your enemies and launches them towards you, so you always deal back attack damage while being in front of a pack of monsters. Really strong ability with amazing sustain. Shift E, like I said before, is a hard-hitting, slow-casting skill. It's also been improved to regenerate more HP on hit than before. Now it's 250 HP per hit, which is an insane amount. This is also your only tier 3 add-on skill in the kit. RMB is a skill that not many people were talking about, but it has received a buff to no longer consume mana and instead regenerate a massive amount of mana on use. Amazing for sustain. The 100% BSR for Woosa Awakening was one of the issues I had with the class in testing. The animation was just too long and you are rooted in place even after the hit goes. While the animation isn't as long thanks to now being able to cancel the skill after the last hit, so still I think it should be sped up. The range is nice, but it still feels a little awkward to use. Mobility has improved to allow you to double dash forward without too much choppiness in the animation. I wouldn't call it perfectly smooth, but it does feel better than it did on test server. For low level spots, I like to test how classes do at Blood Wolves. This is an area that most will be grinding a long time for the infinite potion piece, and it's a spot where we usually one-shot the monsters with season gear, so it's a good place to test leveling and low AP zone grind. I currently have season GS on my Woosa Awakening in Korea, so that will give you an idea of my gear for the clips I'm about to show you. In low level grind, if you utilize your double dash and stick to using WE, SE, Shift LMB, Shift F, and the F skill, this will keep you moving forward and allow you to clear relatively quickly without running out of stamina. The main ones you want to use will be the SE skill and the WE skill since their range is so good. Shift F is a nice skill to use if you're surrounded by mobs, otherwise Shift LMB will be a great frontal AoE. These can be linked with the flows in Woosa Awakening's kit and can be cancelled with dashes if you need to. F is a great skill if you have a pack in front of you, but not far enough to double dash. You move quite a distance with just the F kick animation. For normal grind and higher end zones, I have come up with this combo. It is almost completely protected, high damage, and amazing sustain. In Star's End with season gear, it is overkill, so sometimes everything will be dead before half the combo is done. That is not really a bad thing. You can move forward to the next pack and your skills should be up by then. But since I am limited in high-end zone testing with this Season Gear Awakening Woosa, I went to test how she does in Elvia Orcs. As you grind Orcs before the zone debuff is active, it's a good place to see how well newer classes are clearing. With just 250 AP, I was not expecting much, but the sustain was surprisingly good. Keep in mind this is Season Gear without Elvia weapon buff and no zone debuff at the beginning of the grind. Once the zone debuff was applied, it got a lot easier to grind here, but I wouldn't call it super fast obviously since we are still handicapped by the low AP. Regardless, the damage was surprisingly good and the sustain from the combo helped us stay alive longer than we really should have. I'll have a longer clip at the end showing you my bad Woosa Awakening gameplay at Orcs so you can see how well she does in Season Gear. Now as for the combo itself, our initiator is going to be ARMB. This is the lateral form of the RMB skill that allows us to instacast SLMB for the AP buff and prevents the backstep from the SLMB. SE is where our damage starts, frontal guard and HP regen, then the E flow for damage straight into WE, an SA skill that also has long range like SE. We then use the flow skill for WE that deals good damage, good AoE as well. From here we can cast Shift E for the frontal guard and HP regen, and to the flow for this skill E, it's almost instantaneous, followed by Shift LMB, another frontal guard good damage skill. You can use Shift F instead if you want more AoE around you, similar damage to Shift LMB, but it's SA protection instead of frontal guard. It does have some nice movement and attack speed debuffs if that's something you need, so that is something to think about. The finisher is Spacebar or the SF skill. This will deal very good damage and position you to start the combo all over again or reposition you to the next pack. SF can be used twice within its cooldown, and both times the add-ons will trigger, making it a fairly good skill to use to reposition mid-combo. This combo specifically lets you remain in Awakening and is very simple to use. I recommend if you are looking to optimize damage to weave in pre-awakened skills for movement and damage, since the Shift Q or Stormfall skill from pre-awakened is technically the highest damaging ability in your kit. It just so happens to be a pre-awakened skill, but it's very good. If you want to use Shift Q, you can hotkey SE to your hotbar if you wish to use it in the combo, and then use the hotkey to get back into Awakening very easily. For add-ons, we take the usual. We do not take crit rate since our combo is mostly made up of 100% crit rate abilities. I would think about adding back attack damage increase as well, but as always with add-ons, tweak them to your playstyle. For PvP, I have two variations of the same combo that are focused on range damage. These will rely on you catching your opponent with SE and deciding what follow-up you want to use. If you catch them with the stiffness CC part of the skill, you can use your Inkstroke Rabam to extend the CC with a long-range knockdown. Then you use Flowing from hotkey to get back into Awakening stance, use the SLMB skill for our AP buff, and then follow up with WRMB to start the RMB link. This will also give you a knockdown extension. Holding RMB will cycle through two skills very quickly and deal damage very quickly, and then we use E for the flow skill into WE to maintain range, ending with the flow skill for WE for a possible down smash. If you catch your opponent with the floating CC part of the skill, you can dash in, use your F skill, making sure to hold for the second hit, that's where the damage comes from, SLMB for the AP buff, then Shift F, use spacebar mid animation to cancel and end with the WE and flow skills. This will debuff your opponent and bring you back out of range should they get up. Those are the day one combos for you guys. These will help you get started with all aspects of Woosa Awakening. As we see what else is going to get tweaked this week and the next, I'll make an updated, more advanced guide that will more than likely include pre-awakened skills in combos, as a pre-awakened kit for Woosa is incredibly strong and should not be disregarded. Hope this video helps. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll leave you with an extended session of bad Woosa Awakening gameplay at the end here, so you can see how Woosa Awakening with Season Gear does at Elvia Orcs. Stay tuned on the channel for more videos like this, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.